All right, today we're here with Tucker, Bentley, and John, and this is their Roadmap to Success video. So when I first arrived, the dogs were pretty excitable, but the guardian had started working with them on teaching them to go lay on the dog bed when guests arrive, as you can see in the first video. And that's something that we decided to start to change. So we made a new rule by using invisible boundaries and using the escalating consequences to enforce them, to help them stay behind the staircase leading down to the stairs. So all the dogs just have to be behind that boundary, and otherwise they can move about the house comfortably and freely. This will help them build up their self-control and reduce their arousal when people come to the front door. And it is okay in the beginning stages for them to be barking, but over time that will go away on its own. So you don't have to use the escalating consequences to disagree with the barking. As long as they are staying behind the boundary, that's fine. The main behavioral issue that the guardian was concerned about was Tucker here was resource guarding her. And you can see in the video above how we decided to accomplish making this a positive experience. The other thing that we didn't show in the video was a different technique. It's pretty close to the technique that we use, but I just want to show you really briefly, is to have another third party be involved. So as the guardian is approaching a person, having a third person working with Tucker and giving him a treat in front of his nose and having him look at them while eating a treat. So that way he starts making a positive association between another person being with his guardian and getting a treat reward. If they have a leash on for this experience, make sure that you don't have any tension on the leash, because tension on the leash can create a higher arousal and he will be more likely to be resistant and more likely to become agitated. So make sure that if a leash is on, it's only there as a precaution and as like an emergency, for emergency purposes, but otherwise don't have any tension on the leash. Make sure to bring amazing treats, something really yummy that's motivating to Tucker. I would suggest to the guardian to practice the leadership exercise with each dog once a day for the next 2 weeks, and to encourage any family member who's around often to also practice this once a day with all of the dogs. If there is time limits and restrictions on certain days, make sure to have the family members work with at least Tucker, so they start seeing, Tucker starts looking to all of the people in the home, all the family members, as leaders, and him in a follower mindset. So that'll be one of the most important ones. And then at all times when people are approaching and walking in between Tucker and his guardian, to make sure that they're using the counter conditioning method that we showed above to toss treats to him and give him treats at every single point. So this won't be a specific training time period, this will be all the time to help him always make that positive association. You can start to wean off of the treats over time, but make sure to keep using the treats even past the point when he's being successful at having people walk by at a fast pace, normal level with making lots of noise and animation. Still reinforce with treats now and then, just to make sure that you don't lose that positive association. At some distant point, you can stop giving treats altogether, but for the next couple of months, I would use treats as much as you need to, and then just intermittently once he's being successful and comfortable with people walking around and he's no longer resource guarding his guardian. The last thing, so that'll be a constant. The last thing is to make sure every day that you're using the structured feeding exercise to have the dogs eat in the order of their behavior. So whoever is the best behaved dog, the dog you would want the other dogs to be modeled after, gets to eat first. They only have 3 minutes to eat, and after they have their 3 minutes, if there's food left in the bowl, pick up the bowl, dump the food out, and then put the bowl back down on the ground. And make sure that the dogs are not within 7 feet of another dog eating. Okay, and you can use the escalating consequences to disagree with them if they were to approach and get too close, and then to use petting with a purpose to reward good behavior. And remember, everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.